Hello, Happy New Year, and welcome back to Dice and Easy Games. We're here for some more bite-sized battle reports.
You're back.
I'm back, yeah.
We managed to find time in our schedules, which is difficult sometimes.
I'd like to say by popular demand, but...
Popular-ish. But by popular demand, we are playing Kings of War 10mm scale again, because it's our favourite thing to play, probably.
It is our favourite thing, and it gives us a really good opportunity to go somewhere different. So we're using some fantastic ROK minis, Desert Arabian set, and I'm throwing my most favourite army ever.
Obsession?
Obsession. I love me a dinosaur, yeah.
Cool, so we'll get straight to it. We're playing the Invade mission, so we'll be working to get into each other's table halves by the end of the game with a random game length. We've got to be a bit clever about it, so let's see how it pans out.
Turn one has happened. The lizards skittered forwards, nimble-like across the sand. Very hot sand, so they like them lizards that dance. And did absolutely no damage because I wasn't in range to hit anything.
Yeah, that's a problem, isn't it?
Richard's turn, however.
Yeah, I had a bit more ranged attacks thanks to Paul having moved in range of these bows and some fire breathing from this air quotes dragon over here that is in fact obviously a griffin.
And a trebuchet, let's be honest.
Yep, so overall not too bad, put a little bit of damage on, but nothing that's too concerning for the lizards. But turn two is where it's going to start to get messy because they're going to start charging. Okay, the action is beginning. These salamanders are going to vomit some fiery, nasty breath onto these knights. So
much like myself in the morning, if I'm honest, Richard. Right, so they have 8 attacks, and they have +8.
Oof. 5's here for some damage.
Yeah, 7 hits, 5, let's go.
It counts if it jumps out, so that's still only 1 damage, so mildly on fire. Okay, we've got a nasty combat here. The dinosaurs on top of dinosaurs have charged the Paladin foot guard. So what you got, Paul? That's a lot of hits. Now needing 3s to cause some damage. And yeah, that's not a great roll, Paul.
No, my dice.
What's that, 5 in total?
Looks
4,
that way.
oof.
Yeah, wow. Okay, so we're now into Richard's combat, and as you can see here...
Shooting wasn't worth mentioning.
No, shooting happened. I think that's what we can say. But down here, you've got men-at-arms.
I have, these are Paladin foot guard over here. So they are going to be chopping up the Saurus that charged into them, let's hope.
You hope, yeah.
So, rolling to hit. Not bad. And these guys are pretty tough to damage on a 5+. That does count. Only 1 point of damage. All right. I mean, I did something. I'm just hoping to hold, basically.
It's a theme so far in this game.
It is.
Loads of attacks, very little damage.
My bad that we didn't catch that on camera, but they did roll an 11 to rout the Salamanders. So now I have free reign of this flank, except for, this bad boy.
I think that was totally my fault by saying, you can't do any more damage. I've run out of tokens.
Yeah, that's how the rules work.
I've got a token back now. Thanks, Rich.
So just as a little bit of a rundown of the whole of turn 2, I did bomb it over Paul's skinks to try and do some objective or positioning, not grabbing yet.
Play the mission. Play the mission.
These guys have moved to face them rather than them because it looks like a softer target. There's a little bit of running away by the wizard because that's what you do when you're a wizard. I'm trying to use the building to protect my flanks here because this is a lot of beef coming down the middle, Paul.
Yeah, I'm doing the Napoleon.
And over here, these guys, as you saw, held their ground, and a bit of a punch through over here. I turned my paladin on dragon / hippogriff to face down these sneaky boys over here, Paul, because this is quite a vomit move. You led the way for me to copy you over here. So we'll see if that works out.
Tactics? Who needs tactics?
We're hoping for a green-on-green showdown over here as well. They're definitely lined up for it. So I'll put the ball in your court on that one. So let's see what happens in turn 3.
Here we go.
So we've got a combat over here where Paul put a little bit of damage on the Lancers. Not much to write home about. It gets scarier as we go across here, though, with this thing in my ranks. Yeah, note to self, measure properly when you move your wizard back away from combat and don't be half a centimetre still in the charge range of these guys, because I'll just take this.
I mean, some call it overkill, but I call it being thorough.
It's very thorough. There's a combat here now. We'll move on to rolling some actual dice for, because this is a lot of dues for these guys to wade through. But look how big they are. 15 attacks coming in hot. Oh, Paul, that's not a good roll to hit at all.
Every single time.
Paul saved by 2+ to damage, maybe.
4.
4 on a unit. That's in fact, a horde that size is not quite going to cut it. But it's the start of a long process, Paul.
It is. They look like Bowser, so I'm happy.
Angry.
So still deep in turn 3 as we move along the board. My big frog dude here has walked over to the big dead dude on a bed and given him a frog slap.
Excellent work.
He's flapped him with his flapper. Moving over, the I've forgotten what they're called now. The lizards on dinosaurs are still locked in combat with the armoured men, but they're taking a bit more damage. That was quite good compared to some of my.
You did
other
well,
rolls.
actually. Yeah, 9 is worrying for these guys now.
Yeah, do nerve tests in a minute. But down here we've got the vaunted Green Knight fighting the equally famous green dinosaur with dinosaur riding dinosaur. So I've rolled. I've managed to do 4
hits with crushing strength.
Yes.
With crushing strength up the wazoo and thunderous charge, I believe you only need 2s to get this guy, which is going to be some amount of damage. But he's tough, so hopefully he holds. Yeah, it does. Well, mostly convert into damage, but fingers crossed he won't quite run away yet.
I don't think that.
Not very heroic, is it? And with a 6, he holds. Thank goodness. So we'll do the rest of our nerve across the board and tidy up.
Right, we're doing the meatiest of combat right here in the middle. Richard's horde versus my tyrants.
Yeah, so first of all, we're going to go with the men-at-arms in combat before we do the archers in the flank. Hit on 4s.
Oh, wow, Rich.
Needing 4s again. Ah, there we go, Paul. 5 damage on them, which they can probably chin.
I reckon so. Unbeknown to myself, because I wasn't paying attention at that point, the archers have snuck into the side and done one of the deadly-ish side flank attacks. So
Yeah, let's see, shall we? Oh, actually, needing 5, that's actually a pretty good roll.
yeah, again,
Pretty wrong.
Again, the dice gods, Richard. I don't know what you've done, but
Yeah, have 4 points of damage, Paul.
fantastic. So Richard's squishy men who aren't armed and have spent most of their life ploughing fields. And
There's so many of them.
so many. Yes, my lord.
Oh, that is an 18. That is a 20. They're going to run.
Back here, in my only point scoring unit so far, Richard's High Paladin on Dragon has turned round and is about to show them what a dragon can do.
Let's see, shall we? He's got a boatload of attacks. Pretty good hits.
Pretty good indeed. I think you've got weighted dice.
I do have weighted dice. Well, I've reached for the blue ones for critical rolls. Oh, having said that, that is still 5 damage because they've got crushing strength. So that's taking them up to 9.
Yes. Let's see if they waver.
And that's a 16 to waver or flee.
I'm checking my stats. They are 11.
13, they're
Waver.
gone.
They're gone.
I mean, they did get dragoned, Paul. Okay, so we've seen the King on Dragon drive off the lizard flyers. The Green Knights did absolutely nothing against the giant Carnosaur, which is no surprise. Nice stalemate in the middle here, with some flapping and slapping each other. I'm slowly putting some damage on, but we'll see. The centre has obviously gone very well for me with the Croxigor running away. Of course, he didn't kill them; they're too beefy. However, Paul's got some strength over here on this side, and that trebuchet's probably going to die. And I don't know what I'm doing here. I've got rid of the skinks, and my Pegasus Knights are flapping around in your deployment zone, not really sure what to do. So there's a giant building in front of them, so they can't really do much apart from grab some points, I guess.
But be scared, because that Gecko Tech Mage is gonna.
It's gonna wreck their day.
It's gonna wreck their day.
Okay, it's Mind Frog time, or Mind Fog technically, as this mage is going to attempt to make these guys run away. So you need to get 1 hit on 3 dice, Paul, which is not too bad at all.
Well, you say that.
This is true. Whoa, that's super blurry. Focus. There we go. Okay, so after a bit of focusing, it is 2 hits, which means it goes off. So now they take a nerve test, and they've got 9 damage on them. And see what happens. Oh, I think they are wavered. Something. Not much to write home about over here. Some more damage put on by the warriors here.
Thinned out some peasants.
Yep, some more dead peasants. Frog Slap did not much here. However, a counter charge from these guys could get a bit messy here. What we got, Paul? 20 attack.
20.
Oh dear. 3s now, which is going to hurt. Oh, it's a reasonable amount of damage, but you could have done better, Paul.
That's big.
That's how I'd sum up your rolling so far. Okay, not a double one here, Paul. It's not a great roll, but with 14, that's plus 12, damage on them, that is enough for them to leg it.
Yay!
Okay, this continuous battle here. I say battle, whereas Paul's just chewing on the Green Knight.
Green on green.
6 attacks.
6 attacks, 3 or higher.
Well, that's most of them.
Yes! So 3s or higher to get some more bitey bites.
More chomps. Yeah, that's 4 more damage. Yay. Oh dear. And the route roll is not going to be enough to make him panic.
No.
Not quite
He's
yet.
a knight. He's born for this.
Okay, so end of Paul's turn 4. A little recap that you've taken quite a lot of casualties here, Paul, compared to mine.
But I got your wizard.
You got my wizard, and I like your positioning here, where it's getting opponent's deployment zone, and this is you like pushing a lot of stuff into my deployment zone versus me here. So yeah, you're looking good for the mission. So play the mission. That's how we win.
Play the mission. We're deep into turn 4. Richard has had quite a quiet turn.
I haven't done much.
Lots of moving though. Lots of positioning.
Lots of positioning. I'm trying to make a few breaks for the objective play because Paul's done that already, and I kind of feel like I'm a bit behind on it. So now it's time for the dragon to tear into these Saurus warriors with obviously Griffin rather. Needing 3s here, and now the 2 wound roll. That's not good. 4 damage on that unit.
It could have been much.
Could have been brutal.
Yeah.
So overall, not too much excitement. I've turned to face the Stegodon here because I just don't think I can keep running from it. And I don't want to get recharged. The Trebuchet is in a bit of a bad spot, but the middle is holding with my peasants doing their thing of just standing there and trying not to die as best they can. I've pushed up with my archers to try and grab play for Paul's deployment zone. And some protracted combats here, and the knights are positioning themselves for a charge. I just could not put the heroic knights in a go and grab the territory situation. They've got to charge something. I think these guys, they're a bit more sensible. We're all about the high action here, and what's more high action than this guy tearing the trebuchet to shreds? It's already got some damage on it, which is not great, and he's got a big ass club. So what you got, Paul?
Let's see.
Yeah, that's a spread of hits.
That's quite good, isn't it? Yeah.
Needing 3s again due to his crushing strength. And that's 4 damage on the trebuchet. You want to roll to see if it's routed, aka destroyed?
See if it runs away, Richard.
Go on then, roll see if it runs away.
Picks up its wooden bits and legs it.
Yeah, the crew have totally cluttered off and left what's left of the trebuchet behind.
I'm sorry, my lord, it's a dinosaur. And off they go.
See you later. Not much to write home about over here. Trampled a few of them underfoot, but they kind of got through it. We saw what happened over here. Let's not talk of that anymore. The Saurus have finally managed to waver the peasants, which is not a surprise, seeing as they're fighting a unit of giant dinosaurs. Yeah, frog slap.
It was limpid and pointless.
Yep. Over here we got some damage on the King on Dragon, which is pretty cool for Paul. And now we come to, can you eat the Green Knight in 1 more bite? That is going to be a lot of hits. And then can you do him in on 3s? Oh, it's 3 more damage. It ticks up to 10. Do I need to bother marking it, or can you just rout him off the table?
Rout.
Dead!
Rout.
Like mega dead!
Yay!
Okay, so my turn 5. These guys put a little bit of damage on the giant beast. Can't remember its name. Stegodon. What's going on with my brain? Not much to write home about. However, the peasants have seen off another unit of lizards by putting some damage on the temple guard. Now we're moving on to the brutal combat of knights up the rear of this unit here. That's a lot of attacks. 16, and they're tripled because they're in the back.
Yep.
So yeah, we will roll a bucket of dice off camera and then come back, I guess, Paul, because that's not so exciting.
I think that's the easiest thing, yes. Richard has rolled his to hit dice, which he has hit 33 times.
Yep.
And now we're going to see how much damage he actually does. There's a lot of 1s.
That's a lot of 1s, but they are mega dead, I think. We'll add that up in a second.
Beginning of turn 6. We're getting down to the nitty gritty now. My cavalry have tried to go and play the objective and camp out there because they're a little bit hurt. Tough decision. Do I use the hero on Dinosaur to try and take out the knights, or do I try and cut off the archers who are going for the objective? I've chosen the archers.
Smart play, Paul.
But I'm hoping that's not going to leave me open for a rear charge.
Should be alright, I reckon.
Yeah. Frog is still slapping the dead guy. We'll leave them there. My clan lord has turned and is still in the deployment zone, so still going to score, hopefully. But I want to try and take on those archers, and they're just a nuisance. The real meaty stuff is happening
Here we go.
My clutch priest has tried to make a bolt for the opposite side of the table, and I'm kind of hoping for a 7th turn just to get him a bit closer. Well, I don't think it's going to happen. But the Stegodon is going to try and wipe out these knights.
Not bad.
We'll see what happens.
You need 2s. They're very squishy.
Wounding on 2s. Oh, come on.
Oh, come on, Paul. There's still 4, though. Puts me on 10 damage. Could be enough. 17. Oh, I think that's good.
The most important fight of this turn.
It is actually, funnily enough, yeah.
Archers versus a Metasaurus. The Vegisaurus has already done very well.
Yeah.
So
Competing with the herbivore over here. Go for it then, Paul.
Go for it.
Oh, that's a good number of hits, Paul. You needed that. That is 4 damage, and I hasten to add it's a flank charge, so you need to do that again. Yeah. Round 2. Still not as good as last time. It's getting tired.
Getting tired.
Yes, it's the 3 hit as well, Paul. That's 3 more damage. That's 7, which is not good. Do you want to roll their route?
Or just when they jeer at me.
Are they going to die horribly? Goodbye, point scoring unit.
Yeah. And then I will
turn to face this lot.
So I do not get the dreaded Rear Admiral. Yep.
Okay, so not much action from me. These guys are firmly in Paul's deployment zone. I've made a play for the deployment zone with these guys with a march action. And I need that extra turn to be able to advance them into the deployment, because I can't obviously march around these woods and these buildings. The king has delayed this thing murdering my knights, hopefully buying enough time for them to get over there.
A heroic epic showdown in the last turn.
I mean, speaking of heroic epic showdowns, Paul was outside of line of arc of sight of this unit, so there is a whole heap of angry peasants that don't want this lizard on their land. But I don't think they're going to be able to do anything about it, so he may well be scoring points. So it is pretty down to the wire at this point. I think it's going to depend on how we do for extra time. Hey, sports reference for you, Paul.
Yeah, excellent, yeah. The only combat worth filming in turn 6 for Richard is this epic encounter in the middle. So, Rich,
let's do it.
Go for it.
Right, hitting on 3s. All right. And then it's going to be 5s, but I have crushing strength 2. So some 3s. And that's 3 more points of damage on you, Paul, but I don't think it's going to be enough to actually do the deal.
Takes him up to 5.
And then roll the route. Yeah, I didn't get a double 6, so it's pretty much not worth worrying about. It's the delay tactic.
Well, it's the one time I want you to roll low.
Paul has declined to roll for the extra turn because he thinks the dice gods have been against him, so apparently it's my turn. So he wants the game to end now on a 1 to 3, and I want the extra turn. So it is in Paul's favour! Oh my word. That means that Paul has 2 in my deployment zone versus my 1. So it's yet again another Kings of War victory to you, Paul.
I'm keeping up my streak, so I don't think I've lost yet against you.
Oh, all right. So yes, another victory to Paul. Congratulations, Paul.
Oh, it's the only victory I have in life. Yeah.
I suck at Kings of War, apparently.
I don't think we've had a bad game though of Kings of War.
No, it's been so good either way. It's always, there's some cool moments. The game's so well balanced, and yeah, some sneaky manoeuvrings have managed to do it for you again, Paul.
Again, I would say the one thing that I've enjoyed most about this game is the change of scenery. Now we usually play in a forest.
It's usually the village forests,
but
this is more Lizardmen, isn't it? A little bit.
Yeah. So I will say, if you do like the terrain that you've seen on the board, if you do like the models and miniatures, there are lots of places to get it from. But do check out ROK Minis.
Yep, thanks. I didn't pay him for that.
No paying at all. It's a little bit different, and I think it really makes the game playing on boards that aren't just forests.
Yeah, it's nice to have a desert mix up, and need to work on a snow one next.
Yes, please.
Think about that.
Ooh.
Right, see you guys soon for yet more games.
Bye bye.